Good morning, buenos días a todos, bienvenidos. Welcome to Connecting Communities with Giovanni Mata. Today is Friday, February 28, 2014. How time has fly. We are almost done with the second month of 2014. We are very thankful that you are joining every Friday with Connecting Communities with Giovanni Mata. We have been extremely happy with all of the audience that is viewing our programs and our shows through the past 2 months. So we thank you all to all of our viewers for that constant attention to our program. Queremos agradecer a todos nuestros televidentes que están viendo este programa constantemente. Hoy es viernes 28 de febrero del 2014. Queremos agradecerles de una manera muy especial la oportunidad que tienen siempre de estar poniendo atención a nuestro programa cada viernes. Antes que comencemos el programa, queremos felicitar a la independencia de la República Dominicana, que ayer estuvo cumpliendo 170 años de independencia. So, felicidades a la comunidad dominicana. Before we continue with the program, we would like to congratulate the Dominican community for their 170 years of independence as they turned in yesterday. Congratulations to the Dominican Republic and to all of the Dominicans around the world, and especially here in Long Island and New York City also. So may God bless your country, and we hope that you continue to do well. And today we're extremely happy because we have a wonderful guest. We have the creative director of Blu Chip Marketing, Donna Drake. Donna, welcome to our program.
Buenos dias.
Buenos dias.
Hello.
It is a pleasure to have you on board. We have spoken about you on the air, but today you have the pleasure of joining us.
Thank you so much.
So we are very happy that we have Donna today, who does a wonderful job at Blu Chip Marketing as a creative director. So first of all, we were just beginning by congratulating the Dominican Republic.
Yes, that's wonderful.
For their Independence Day. So we connect communities in this program, and we are connecting you to let you know, just in case you are a viewer that were not aware, that the Dominican Republic Independence Day was yesterday. So February 27th of every year. So 170 years of independence.
How do they celebrate? Do they have parades and what happens there, Giovanni?
They have a lot of, they do carnivals, they do a lot of course, they do civic activities in the country and also here in the United States. Actually, about, if I'm not mistaken, last year we had a missionary trip from church, and we were there shortly before Independence Day. So everything was ready, and you could see, in the neighborhoods how people. Actually, the whole month of February is a whole celebration. Dominicans celebrate a lot, so so with their music, with their food, with everything. So we had the opportunity to be there last year on a missionary trip. We could see how they're getting ready for yesterday's day, the whole month, and they continue to celebrate after that. So it was a wonderful place to visit. I've been there twice, so it's a very nice country.
Sounds like fun.
Yes, it is. But today we also would like to speak about you, Donna. You were just chatting before the show. We will connect our audience to St. Louis, Missouri.
Yes.
Tell us what do you have to do with St. Louis, Missouri?
I was born in St. Louis, Missouri in 1965, around the same time that the arch was finished. You know, the big arch. Giovanni, have you ever seen that?
I've seen it in videos and pictures.
Yeah, it's a stainless steel structure.
Okay.
And you can actually go up inside the arch. There's a little tramway. And you get inside this little egg, and it kind of connects you all the way up to the top.
All the way to the top.
And you can look out the windows.
Oh, wow.
But a lot of people think that the St. Louis Arch is made out of concrete, but it's not. It's actually stainless steel triangles that are forged together.
I thought it was, it is still, I thought it was iron for some reason.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. But a lot of times
Steel,
people,
okay.
I actually thought, you'll appreciate this being from New York. I actually thought that when I first saw the Statue of Liberty and how close she was to Manhattan, I thought maybe perhaps they had moved her.
Oh.
Because growing up in St. Louis, every picture I ever saw the Statue of Liberty, I always thought it was the first thing people saw when they came to our country. So I thought she sat offside of Long Island, because you always see the big beautiful sky behind her and
they
fireworks.
Took her out, and they took
and then
her
all
out.
of a sudden I'm landing on JFK, and they're pointing out, oh, there's the Statue of Liberty, and I got all confused. I was like, wait, she's so close to the harbor. So I always thought she was outside.
I think all of us have an impression when we see the Statue of Liberty here in New York, right? I remember in the 1990s, probably was the first time that I saw the Statue of Liberty, and it's quite an impression, right?
Oh, it's wonderful. Yes. Absolutely wonderful.
I remember it was cold. I think it was actually a field trip from school.
Oh, really?
Yes. You see, so it was a field trip that we had from school, and it was. I remember it was somewhere probably very late in the winter or very early in the fall. But I remember it was cold.
And St. Louis is very much like New York because it was settled by, because of westward expansion. So Lewis and Clark, the expedition, and all the fur traders, they came from the east, went to the west.
Okay.
And St. Louis, being right along the river, became the hub for trade.
Oh,
and so a lot of the buildings look like New York, just much smaller.
Much smaller, right?
Much smaller.
Well, New York is a skyscraper city, so... Okay, so I know you have been here for 20 years.
I have.
In New York. So when you go back, what is the first things you do?
When I land, the very first thing I do is I go to the Steak and Shake.
Okay.
Now, Steak and Shake is like a hamburger place. They've got like thin French fries. And for many years, they didn't have one in New York. Now they do, and it's near David Letterman's studio. And the day that I found out that they had one, I was all excited. But Steak and Shake was my first job when I was 16 years old. And I go and I have like a steak burger with French fries, a malt, chocolate malt. So that's my first stop.
Well, I remember, now you just reminded me of the Dairy Queen in Texas.
Okay, is that your favorite?
I used to live in Texas for a couple of years, and I remember when you mentioned these hamburgers, and I remember we used to go with my aunt and my cousins, and we used to either eat a hamburger and then have a banana split. They were very famous for on their banana split, so we would go and we will eat sometimes in the afternoon, either on a Saturday evening or Friday evening, or any time that we had the time to go. We will go and hide it. So you just reminded me of that.
Yeah. St. Louis for me is that. It's like I see my friends and then I go eat my favorite food. And there's like a little pizza parlor called Roberto's.
So it's a country environment, right?
It is.
Is that a country environment?
Well, it's country and city. It's very suburban.
It's very combined, probably.
Very
similar to Long Island, maybe.
Yes. In fact, the reason I like Long Island, I moved to Huntington because it reminded me of a suburb in St. Louis.
Okay.
You're close to the city, yet you have churches and schools.
You're
and
not that far from the city.
And so St. Louis is a lot like that. It's suburbia.
Okay.
So.
I believe that's where one of the one of these shows, actually one of the Betty White, I think, is from St. Louis, Missouri.
A lot of famous people. Vincent Price and Chuck Berry and a lot of cool people.
A lot of cool people. Yes, I believe Betty White from one of these shows is from St. Louis, Missouri. So besides the difference that you see in New York City to St. Louis, did you miss something when you came here to New York in particular? Besides the people, we always miss the people when we move out of the state.
Yeah, when I first moved to Long Island, my son Andrew was very small, very little, and they didn't have any Wendy's here. Not to keep talking about fast food, but he made me write a letter and say, what kind of place did we move to? They don't have a Wendy's. Now Long Island has Wendy's, but but I guess for me, I've been very lucky because I embraced living in Long Island. I've met great people, so now I feel like I have two homes.
Once you have that amount of people that you get surrounded by, that become family of you and them, it's like when you start settling in your city. I understand you because I moved from Texas some time ago. And I remember I used to miss Jack in the Box. You see, we have to talk about food.
It's the food. It's the culture. That's the culture.
Those little things that, they make a little difference, but in your life, it's the world.
Absolutely.
Sometimes, right?
And toasted ravioli. They have fried ravioli in Long Island, but they don't have toasted ravioli. It's just a little slightly different. So like food, you miss the food sometimes, or I think once you grow up somewhere and you move, I think one of the things I miss most often is you can't be at every function. Like sometimes I can't be home for a wedding that I really want to be at, or, you miss those special little holidays sometimes, but because of Facebook.
Exactly.
We were talking about that before. It helps a little bit.
It connects you a little bit more, but still doesn't have the personal touch.
Not the same.
Yes, the personal touch that you can give a hug to a person or to a loved one, or you can give a handshake, to the person that you haven't seen in a while. Okay, so what is, besides those fast foods that we mentioned?
Yes, St. Louis.
St. Louis. Is there anything in particular that people like to eat there, that they cook for any specific holiday in the year? Or?
Yeah, St. Louis, one thing about St. Louis is besides the food, it's the sports. It's the Cardinals, it's the baseball team. St. Louis is really family driven. You know, people will often ask you, you know, like what high school you went to, because then they can figure out maybe you know somebody. Oh, well, my cousin went there, or my friend went there.
Okay.
You know, so it's a very tight. It seems like a small town, but it's really a big city. But it seems small because everybody's really kind of close to each other. But because of, like, there's an Italian section, so there's like a lot of Italian food in St. Louis, a lot of German food in St. Louis.
Well, according to the 2010 U.S. Census, I think it's the 58th largest city in the United States. I think it has about 390,000 people. So
It's pretty big. I was thinking we had 2 million. I don't know.
well,
I don't know. We'll have to check.
you see so many people. You see so many people, right? Yes, but according to some data that I found in the U.S.
About
Census,
St. Louis?
yeah,
Oh, good for you.
Yes.
Educate me on this.
Yes, I believe it was, it was actually, about 300 and something thousand people that they have. So it's close to 400,000 people. And so it's actually ranked the 58th largest city in the United States.
We have a wonderful art museum, and we have a
Yes.
free zoo there. We, as if I still live there. See
Yeah,
how
right,
I'm
you
talking
see,
about-
you see? Well,
Once
you're
you're in St.
from there.
Louis,
It is your home, so your home is always your home.
Yeah.
You can't change that.
Yeah.
Home is home, right?
it's true.
Yeah, so I believe we're talking to Donna Drake today, the creator, director of Blu Chip Marketing. So we're very thankful that she came aboard. And she's actually giving us a little bit of information about St. Louis, Missouri, where she came from 20 years ago here in New York. And we actually have been asking her some challenge questions in regards to the assimilations from St. Louis and New York. I wanted the challenge because I used to live in Texas for a couple of years. I lived in New York and then to Texas, and then I ended up moving back to New York. So I don't know if you noticed the difference, but is there a difference in Missouri to New York in regards to the way people move around?
Yes.
Those people drive crazy. Those people go always fast in New York, or is that I am wrong?
No, you're right.
Okay.
Yeah, people in Long Island and New York tend to move faster. It's a faster pace. You know, when that phrase they say in a New York minute. Yeah, a New York minute I actually think is faster than any other minute in the world.
Well, you see, when you go to Texas and you're driving and you go like you're rushing, you know, because you're used to, even if you have time, but you're just rushing because you're used to rush, like in New York, and you see like people just let you go, you know, because you're
like,
rushing.
yeah.
Go, and you know, and they let you drive, but. I recall a couple of years ago, some friends of mine came to New York, and they were surprised by the customer service. And I won't mention another fast food store, okay? But this happened in Times Square, New York, and my friend was very disappointed because the teller did not say good evening, how are you, and all of these things that we are used to in Texas. Just you figured out how I say we?
Yeah.
In Texas, you see, so. Is it a difference? Why? Is it because the environment in New York is what, the capital of the world is always working, or what is it?
Yeah, I think it might just be busyness. You know, I think people are just busy. You know, they're expected to accomplish so much during their day and in their business life and their personal life. You know, they're very driven. Where in St. Louis, they take time to smell the roses, and probably in Texas a little bit too. So I think in Long Island and New York, because it's so highly competitive, you actually have to train yourself to celebrate life, to live. You actually have to kind of teach yourself and actually schedule it in. You know, like on Tuesday, I'm going to go get my nails done, or, you know, you have to make time for little things that you
don't have the time like in either Missouri or Texas that you... Tuesday, or you know, you have that free time to live and relax. And you know, people tell me in Texas that they have time for their own. They have time for themselves. So I think in New York we have to really take care about it.
I try, like family time.
Exactly.
But I have an 8-year-old, you know, and it seems like even then we're rushing. Where, you know, soccer games in St. Louis are, you know, maybe you go to church on a Sunday, you know, you go to a soccer game, you come home and you have family dinner, you know. But for us, it's like, okay, you know, my 8-year-old's we got to be here at indoor soccer at this time, and then it's just so much stuff crammed in. So I'm trying.
Exactly. Well, we are comparing the time pace, or the pace of life in New York and Missouri, and perhaps Texas also. We got involved Texas in there with Donna Drake, who is the creative director of Blu Chip Marketing in Long Island. So if you ever need some creative work or creative marketing strategy campaign, here it is. Blue Chip Marketing is the option that you have. So we are talking about the pace that we actually live the life in New York. How's the life in Missouri? Why do we go so fast in New York? Why is that we're always rushing? Even if we have to go nowhere. I remember, Donna, I read a book when I was in college, and I remember that, I'm almost sure it was, I don't want to quote because I may be wrong, but I remember that this lady, when she started telling her story, she moved from another city, I believe from the central of the country, and then she said she came to Manhattan, and she saw everybody running, like they run, in the morning and in rush hour. People who, from Long Islanders know when you go to Manhattan in the rush hour, and they go running, and then everybody has a train to catch, a bus to catch, an office to get, or whatever to go. So she said that she wasn't sure why people were rushing, so she just started rushing herself with nowhere to go, just to imitate everybody else in the crowd, because she said, what are these people going? What are they going? They're rushing. So she just wanted to have that feeling of how rushing will feel in Times Square or New York City. And when you go to New York City, you can see how people is always rushing, regardless of the day of the week.
Well, even last night, I went into the city with Corinne, and we went out and had dinner, and we went to a couple events last night. And I do love it. I mean, no disrespect to New York.
Oh, of course.
It's nice to have both, a combination of both.
I believe, we have learned, like you said, to love the style of life that we live here, because I also work in the city. And if I don't drive or I take the train, I know how it is to be either on traffic or to be in the train somewhere and see those stations full of people and the subway full of people in rush hour, how they get so crowded. But that's New York. Everybody wants to see what is happening.
Right. It's lovely here.
It is. So if you're watching us from some other part of the world, not in New York or any other state, we'll invite you to come and visit. I always encourage people, Donna, that if they want to come and visit New York, especially family members that I have in other countries or any other part of the states, I asked him, a good time to visit New York, especially New York City, is Christmas time.
True.
I believe, I like the winter, so I do like the winter.
I just have to say, we've had so much snow, though, Gio, this year. I'm kind of done with it. I don't know. You want more snow? More snow can be just at your house.
Well, I think it is part of winter, so we have to accept it. So, but I know a lot of people is tired of snow. But I believe we need the snow just as we need the sun, just as we need the heat in the summer. I just believe this winter has been brutal, especially to people who get disturbed to go to work because of the snow, or have to do other things like schools. So I know it's very challenging. I just enjoy it.
Maybe you enjoy it because you grew up in Texas and it never snowed in
Maybe.
Texas.
Well, I've been here now 14 years, okay. So I've seen a lot. And when I came to the United States in 1992, it used to snow a lot. So I remember, and maybe, I come from a tropical country also, El Salvador. So the weather is always tropical, it's always warm, it's always hot most of the time. So depends on what part of the country you are. But I
guess bloom where you're planted is basically the best saying, right? So wherever you are, there you are.
Can you please tell the snow to go away? No, but I think we need the snow. So the best time to visit New York, I feel, is Christmas time, because when people come from other countries there is not such weather like winter or cold weather here, they experience the weather, and they also experience the beautiful of New York City in Christmas time.
It is lovely.
It is extremely wonderful to go to Rockefeller Center and see the lighting, the Christmas tree there, and then so people actually have the opportunity to enjoy New York. And I would like to promote a wonderful place that I usually take people to go, is the Sky Ride inside the Empire State Building. Have you ever done it?
That is nice, with the movie, and it's like you do the whole 360 tour.
Yes, have you ever?
It is nice. Yes, I have done it.
It is extremely nice tour to give in New York City. The Sky Ride inside the Empire State Building. So always people have to go there and enjoy themselves, and it's a way for them to see the beauty of New York City. Through the tour that they have, I think they have the opportunity to enjoy it and really see what is New York like on every aspect, just in case they don't go on the streets. And
the double-decker buses are really nice too.
Yes, I did that once, I believe a couple of years ago too, and and they take you all the way to the downtown area. And when it's cold, you can be freezing. So those people that don't like the weather, but
I'll tell you when not to visit St. Louis.
when?
Do not go to St. Louis in August.
Why?
Because it's so humid. It's
Okay.
so hot in August.
Okay.
April's lovely. Like I said, baseball. St. Louis is a big baseball city.
Yeah.
So you have to catch a Cardinal game and go down to the hill and have Italian food. But for some reason, August is just unbearable.
Well, you see, Texas. I used to live in Houston, Texas, as we mentioned before, and it is extremely, extremely hot and humid also. I just feel this challenge. Well, New York is also hot in the summer, so we can always.
Get emails now, Gio.
Now we're gonna say, wow, can we?
When's good to travel? You'll be a new travel agent.
Yes, right. We need to make Blu Chip Marketing a travel agency too, right?
There you go.
So there you go.
Communities.
So we're connecting you today to Donna Drake, the creative director of Blu Chip Marketing. Remember, if you are in need of a strategic marketing campaign, here you go. You have a wonderful team here at Blu Chip Marketing, and we are very happy that today we are joined by her. We have spoken about many things, including the fast food traditions in St. Louis, Missouri, in New York, and also in Texas. We even mentioned Jack in the Box, right?
Did.
Well, maybe about 2 years ago, I just had a trip to Texas with my brother, and I was posting pictures on Facebook, and one of my friends saw that I was in Texas and said, "Can you please buy me tacos from Jack in the Box and bring them to me?" And I said, "Sure, why not?" So I had to bring her some tacos, from Jack in the Box.
It's all about the food. It is, right? It's about the food.
So, so you do everything for friends, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So I sent a good greeting to my friend Wanda Arroyo. So she's from Nassau County. So
hope you
at some
enjoyed
point,
the tacos that he
yes.
brought you.
So it's been a while. I didn't see her. I saw her a couple of months ago. But she's a good friend and a good community person also. She's very involved. She'll join our program very soon also. So we're very happy that you joined us in today's program, Connecting Communities with Giovanni Mata. Today is the last day of February 2014. So we are done with 2 months of 2014. So we have 10 months to go of this year. And actually about 10 months for Christmas again. People like to do countdown for Christmas, right?
Absolutely. I'm counting down. Oh, you know what? I'm going to invite you to something. Talking about Christmas. My annual Christmas cookie exchange is always the first Sunday of December at 2 o'clock.
And what type of cookie do I have to bring?
Any kind you want. You bring 7 dozen cookies, all the
7
same
dozen?
kind,
7
and everybody
dozen.
else comes and they bring 7 dozen cookies and you swap them. But
Okay.
that's something that St. Louis is big on.
Oh.
Tradition. Lots
Okay.
of traditions in St. Louis. And
Okay.
great museums, just like here in New York. So
So
we're
now
counting down to Christmas, Gio.
Okay.
Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay. Why not?
Okay, well, you see, and then, we actually, what I wanted to mention today, there is the premiere of one of the very good movies, Son of God.
Okay.
Today, I believe it's been a lot of promotion for that movie. So, not only because of my belief, but I believe it's a wonderful movie for us to watch. I'm waiting to see if I can go to see it as soon as I can.
Okay.
Son of God.
Let us know how it goes.
Yes, hopefully we'll be having some of the reactions to that movie here at Connecting Communities with Giovanni Mata. So to some of the different community members that watched the movie. So, okay. Well, we are very happy that you were with us today. We had the opportunity of having Donna Drake, the creative director of Blu Chip Marketing. Donna, I thank you very much for joining us today. And I will count down for that cookie day. I'm now committed, and we still have a pending show with Miss Karen Caro, remember?
Yes, absolutely.
She's learning some Spanish words, so we will have her shortly at some other program with her improvement in the Spanish language dictionary that she has.
Mucho trabaja, Miss
Yes.
Karen Caro. Much work.
She works very much.
She does.
So we thank you, all of you, for viewing our program, and God bless you, and we'll see you until next week. Donna, thank you very much.
Thank you. Adios.
Adios.
Mwah.
Ciao. God bless you all, and have a wonderful weekend. Dios les bendiga.